And now it's time for today's guest. You know Howie D from his legendary boy band, the Backstreet Boys, but today he's here to talk about his new family album. Which One Am I is a collection of songs and musical reflections of Howie's childhood. Here to tell us more is Howie D.
How are you guys? Pleasure to meet you guys. Nice to see you.
Hey, welcome.
See you. Thank you guys for having me.
Welcome, yeah.
Hey. Good to see you
So
guys.
we're excited to have you.
Thank you guys.
It's really cool. So please tell us about Which One Am I and the inspiration behind it.
Well, I just got a little bit bored with this little Backstreet project that I've been going on doing for like the past 25
What is that?
Yeah.
No, I just joking. No, actually the inspiration came from my oldest son, James. He's 10 years old now, but at the time when he was 5, I just had a little bit of a hard time connecting with the music that was out there for kids nowadays. And it was kind of crazy because I was like, I don't understand this. I'm like, there's so many great movies. There's like, Toy Story, Wreck-It Ralph, the Minions, all these great, like, cool, animated movies that adults and kids could watch. And I found the connection there, but I just couldn't find it with music. And then one day I was looking at our audience and I noticed all these amazing fans out here that have grown up with us, that were teenagers many years ago, that have now grown up, like I said, having kids of their own, bringing their kids to our shows. And I was like, why can't there be other music besides Backstreet Boys that adults and kids can listen to and enjoy and create a family bonding experience? And so it's been a great project. Actually, it's loosely based around my life. I've gotten together with some great writers out here, a guy named Tor Hyam and Lisa St. Lou, and we kind of just dug into my experiences as a kid growing up and thought that they were still relatable to kids nowadays. Everything from like worrying to being shy to being height challenged, to being in My Sister's Shadow, to even one of the first singles is a song called No Hablo Español, which was a situation as a kid that I grew up with, just being in a multiracial family. My mother being Hispanic and my dad being Irish, Scottish American, and me always struggling with my identity, trying to figure out where I fit in because people would look at me and obviously I don't look exactly the most Scottish Irish here. I got more of the Latin blend here, and people would automatically just start speaking to me in Spanish. And I just didn't, my parents never taught me Spanish as a little kid. I was of that generation where they were trying to, not have the kids have the accents, be more Americanized. And so I really quickly learned how to say no hablo español, which means I don't speak Spanish. And so it's just a very lighthearted, campy record that's as well as actually inspired us to make a musical out of it that I'll be performing in and premiering next year in Omaha, Nebraska at a children's theater called the Rose Theater. And so it's just been a nice little fun side projects that's kind of taken up the last 5 years of my life outside of Backstreet Boys time.
I love that. Yeah, I was listening to No Hablo Español, and it's so cool because I knew you were Puerto Rican because, you were like the Latin lover of the Backstreet Boys, but I didn't know.
Thank you.
I didn't know you were Irish Puerto Rican, and I'm exactly that. I'm also Irish Puerto Rican. So when I was listening to that song, I was like, wow, this is like representation for me.
Yeah.
Right on.
Exactly
right
me, so I thought it was so cool.
And did you grow up speaking Spanish?
I did. I grew up in Puerto Rico, so I was
lucky.
like bilingual,
Good for
so
you.
I could say more than no hablo español. But,
I was going to say you have a good accent.
Yeah.
You got me there on that one.
I can teach you a couple other phrases backstage. I'll help you out
Cool.
so you can
I
have
got
a
time.
couple extra tracks on the next album,
Right on,
which I'm
right on.
already looking forward to.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, your kids and being a dad inspired this. So do you think there's like opportunities? I don't know. I haven't heard like the rest of the tracks, but do you think your kids will be singing with you and performing?
Well, actually, my oldest son, James, has gotten the bug. He's a performer himself. At a young age, he started wanted to get in, following daddy's footsteps, doing musicals. He's got his own YouTube page, James the Great. He's got his own followers, fan clubs, and everything.
Look, they're like,
And,
they followed already.
He loves that. Thank you very much. But he actually, he's in the video of the No Hablo Español. He plays a little Howie, and I have my mom in the video who plays Abuela. But he's definitely got the bug. I would support him and my youngest son, who my youngest son I don't think has any interest. He watches daddy's concerts in about 15 minutes. He's ready to go back to the tablets and go hang out and do other things. But I would support them in doing whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
How was it like working with your mother and your son in your music video? Was it easy? Were they talk back? Were they divas?
So cute.
Nah, they were just, it's so cute because my son, I was really, truly like coaching him and guiding him. And there would be times they'd be like, oh, come on, get it together. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, he's only 10 years old. I gotta remember, this is his very first music video. So I can't expect him to be that, like, on daddy's level. But he's a little ham. He's he took directions so easily and with the director, and I let the director really come in and kind of guide him because I wanted him to be able to have his own experience and not just be in my shadow. And my mom was great. She's just a cute little Puerto Rican lady that just sits there and looks nice all the time. Yeah, that's her in the back behind James.
But the song, like you mentioned, is incredibly personal too. It's about not fitting into your identity. So did you have to explain that to James at all? Did he, or just like, it is a very fun song and a very fun video, but did you have to kind of explain the background at all?
I did, and actually the song is not 100%, you know, my life story. I kind of, you know, there's a little bully character in there and stuff like that, but you know, I did explain to him, like, you know, Daddy, you know, didn't grow up speaking Spanish. Later on in life, I took the initiative after finding out that once I wanted to be in the entertainment business and getting very close to being in a group called Menudo many years ago, and having, you know, going out all for castings for Latin roles, but as soon as they realized I didn't speak Spanish, I would just not get the parts. Later on in life, I decided I wanted to take the initiative to learn Spanish. So in high school, I took Spanish courses. In college, and then I took Berlitz courses. And then it got to a point where I was, believe it or not, I got as far as I could with the Berlitz courses where I was actually dreaming in Spanish. I was actually watching the Spanish news and keeping up with it. And the courses, the instructor said, well, now what you got to do is go to Mexico and just submerge yourself with a family who speaks no English. But I got in this group called the Backstreet Boys, and I just didn't have the time to do that. So, but I've encouraged the guys, and we've actually translated a couple of our songs in Spanish. And so I always try to keep my kids to realize that their daddy's roots, you know, there's Latin culture, and I go to Puerto Rico with them every so often. And just try to, you know, always get them to embrace the culture.
Absolutely.
Who in the Backstreet Boys was easy to teach Spanish to? Were they all just like?
None of them.
None of them. Yeah, I could say like, no, what are we doing?
But you know, actually, when we translate our songs, we just would break it down in phonetics.
Right.
So actually, we could sing in German, Italian, Japanese, whatever it may be.
That's why you guys are global superstars. But you also have another single, the Me I Meant to Be, which I really love this because I think it's really important for people today to think about, like, you know, finding your true self, loving who you are. Can you tell us about that song? Yeah,
actually, the Me I Meant to Be, as I was saying a little bit earlier, the CD actually, as we were writing it, within the first couple months and we recorded it, we realized that we had more than just a CD here. We realized it was a bigger story that needed to be told, and so we decided to make a musical out of it. Took the last 4 years into rewriting several rewrites, and but the CD has about, I think, 3 or 4 songs that's actually made it to the cutting room floor for the musical. But by the time we finished the musical, I still wanted to put the CD out because these amazing fans have been hearing me talk about it for the past 5 years. So I'm like, besides them waiting for it, and also besides, I wanted to teach my kids that if you put yourself into a project, you always want to accomplish it and finish it. But the Me I Meant to Be was actually written for the musical, and it's kind of like more like the theme song of the musical. And but it was such a great song that we're like, we got to put this on the record. So it was actually recorded. That song was recorded probably about 4 months ago.
Wow.
And the rest of the songs were recorded 5 years ago.
So Howie D Back in the Day is your musical.
Yes, Howie D Back in the Day.
So tell me about the story of the musical. What exactly is it going to cover?
It's actually going to cover the life of Howie as a young kid. It kind of starts off in present-day time, and believe it or not, I'm kind of shy. I'm at a, without giving too much of the story away, I'm actually receiving an award at my school, alumni award, but I'm actually quite shy, and I have like almost like a panic attack about wanting to go out there and receive this. And the gentleman that's giving me, he's like, I don't understand, you perform in several thousands of people. This is only a small little auditorium. And I go back in the day and explain to the reasons why that I've gotten to this point where I'm overcoming what I need to overcome to be able to go out there and accept this award.
That's really beautiful. I think that's important too, to always show that other side of fame, of like, it's a personal journey as well. You see one thing, but people are living their lives.
Totally.
Yeah.
And actually, even to this day, I mean, I think the CD was very therapeutic with dealing with some of these topics that, you know, a lot of times people don't really exactly sing about worrying or, you know, being height challenged and stuff like that. But it was kind of therapeutic for me. And even to this day, I still tell my son, I said, you know, I still worry. Every day before I go on stage, I'm almost always a little bit nervous. I get the butterflies in the stomach. But I've learned to accept it and channel it and realize that it helps me to be the best that I can be on stage, to be on my toes. And so I tell him, I said, it's all good as long as you are able to talk about it, or as I did, sing about it, you're dealing with it.
Yeah, and your musical is going to premiere in 2020 in Omaha, Nebraska at the Rose Theater. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, right on.
I have seen several shows at the Rose Theater. I had an Answer Saddle there back in the day. How did you choose Omaha?
Well, actually, Omaha chose us. I'm so lucky.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I knew you had something to do with it.
I did.
Actually, I have some great partners I was saying that I worked with on writing the CD and the musical. A gentleman named Tor Hyam and Lisa St. Lou. And they're both really involved in the musical theater out here. She worked on in the producers. He's a children's CD Grammy-nominated writer. And so they are really intertwined in the musical theater world. And coincidentally, we shopped the musical, not shopped it, but we workshopped it here at the New Victory Theater in New York. And we were very blessed to be accepted to be amongst the 1,000 applicants, the top 10 that they chose to allow us to do the workshop. But we always knew we didn't want to possibly premiere the musical here in New York. So believe it or not, the Rose Theater reached out to us with open arms and said, we would love to have you guys come here. And we've had a chance to go over there. I've been there now a couple of times already, shopped it, and excited to be back out there next year.
I'm excited. I will go back, and I'm serious, and see it with my
you.
family.
I
It's
appreciate
exciting.
that.
Yeah.
And you also have the Backstreet Boys DNA North America tour kicking off July 12th in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what can fans expect from the tour?
Well, if they haven't seen all over YouTube already, from Europe, that we were just over there for 2 months. It's a show that I'm very proud of. We put this show together kind of in a crazy schedule because we just finished a 2-year residency in Vegas. We were performing over there at the Planet Hollywood Zappos Theater. And so we were in a little bit of a schedule challenge, but we pulled it together. This show literally came together, pieced up like a week here, 2 weeks here, a week here. Within a month, we pulled this show together. And it's an amazing show. The design, the stage, everything, the production is just on top notch. And we're taking our fans a trip down memory lane with all the hits from the past 26 years.
Wow. And I'm curious, when you're in a band like Backstreet Boys, iconic, and you're creating a set list, and you want to give people, everyone has their favorites, and you also want to show them some new stuff, how do you form your set list for these shows?
Well, we all put some boxing gloves on, and we get backstage. No, it is a challenge because, knock on wood, we've been blessed to have an amazing catalog that could go on for a 3-hour show if we wanted to play all those songs out.
Right.
But we obviously don't want to put our fans to sleep, so we try to keep it around an hour and 45
They're
minutes.
like, you can put
They're
it
like, no, never.
There's an audible what?
Yeah. They'll stand for a full day to hear you
I
guys
know, we
sing.
have the best fans around the world,
Yeah.
seriously. But so it is a challenge trying to, put all the songs together. That's why sometimes we have to create some medleys to put songs together. And as well as with the new album, that's a challenge as well, because we obviously know that, especially with this run here, that there might be some fans that are in the audience that may not be for new Backstreet Boys fans that have heard the record. So we don't want to take them and put them to sleep. So they're mostly there probably to hear some of the older songs. So it is a challenge trying to throw in the new stuff with the old stuff. But I feel like this set list, we put a great job at putting together, sprinkling in about, I think there's like 4 or 5 new songs. Plus we have a couple of solo kind of songs that we sprinkle in with some of the new stuff as like intros. So we got actually really creative about, giving the fans a good taste in the DNA album. Absolutely.
Have a favorite song to perform. Not a favorite song, but like one that when it comes up, you're like, oh, I love to do this.
Well, my favorite song from the early days, I've said this since, day one when we recorded, was a song called All I Have to Give.
Right.
It was a song by some good friends of ours here in New York, Full Force. They wrote the song, and it was one of the first songs that I actually had a chance to get featured, so I have a little personal connection to it.
Yeah.
But it's a great performance that we do on stage with a little bit of a hat routine that kind of just is a good overall performance.
Yeah, and the message is beautiful. Love is all
Thank
I
you.
have to give.
That's right.
When you guys are back together, is there rituals that you have carried through the years for starting a show, or does it feel like the start of your career when you're back hanging out?
First of all, we were very blessed to have the career that we've had for 26 years, to have had the height, back in the late 90s and the early 2000s.
Well, I was there.
And thank you. Appreciate it. And but like a lot of bands, you have that success, and it's not gonna, the chances are it's not gonna always be at that level. So we were able to stay strong and carry the torch, even in the lows when we were back to playing theaters again.
Yeah.
There was even sometimes we were playing House of Blues, and I always had dreamed of hopefully one day getting it back to that level of being able to perform arenas and stadiums. But the chances of lightning striking in a bottle twice is very rare, especially for artists. But because of our amazing fans and because of some great things that we've done with the connection with Florida Georgia Line, we did a duo with them, the Vegas residency, the new album. We've been in a place where we are able to put on a great show that I'm very proud of.
I love that. Are there any pop groups or artists that are new now that you feel are catching your eye, that you're inspired by?
Well, I'm definitely a huge fan of Sam Smith.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's really talented. I've been a fan forever of Bruno Mars. He's on my top of my list of duets for
Boy,
us to
can
do
he
with.
dance.
Oh, duet.
Yeah, and sing. Yeah, it would be. But like I say, a huge fan of Adele. A lot of the DJs that are coming out, big fans of them. We had a chance to work with the Chainsmokers. They're great guys, and so we've been really blessed to not only have met a lot of great artists in the past that have given us great advice, but now to see this newer generation of artists that are coming around asking us for advice is really cool to be in that position now.
Yeah.
I'd love to see you guys do like a K-pop collab too. I feel like that would just like take it to the next level, and then it might just like break the universe.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if the world
Yeah.
can handle that.
Yeah.
Nick has mentioned about doing some of BTS,
Oh my God,
my
that would
gosh.
be massive.
and
That would be
cool. I
Yeah.
think that would be a cool collaboration as well.
Oh, well, there's so many exciting things to look forward to, so thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you all.
And everyone, make sure to listen to Which One Am I out on July 12th.